Hey, hi, it's Joe here. It's week 22, and this week we're talking about inspirational people. And I didn't specify in the topic, like, outline, but I'm talking about trans people who have, I said, folks online or off, who you know personally or don't, that have helped and or inspired you. So yeah, here's where I didn't talk too much about specific vloggers last week because there's a couple folks who I'm gonna plonk in here who have been really inspiring and helpful to me. Top of the list, a fella that Felix mentioned in his resources. I'm sorry, I haven't got this on a solid surface, so I'm sorry it's bobbing around. Who Felix mentioned in his resources video, Skylark 11. But it's actually, this is a misconception, I think, probably. Well, I thought anyway that it was Skylark for a while, and I've seen a lot of people calling him Skylark, but it's not, it's Skylar K11, because his surname begins with a K. Anyway, but yeah, so this Sky is just, like, super wonderful. I came across his videos, I guess, probably just by typing FTM into YouTube, and his videos played such a huge part in me figuring out that I'm a fella. Seeing this guy who's, really, like, sensitive and intelligent and kind of a hippie and a vegan and stuff, and just overall someone who, looks, and I don't mean literally, I mean, like, in terms of his character, a little bit more like me, and is just kind of a guy who I would like to be like, who I sort of, look up to, and being a trans guy, that was really important for me. I have obsessed watching tons of his videos for a long time, and eventually it was that sort of education process of watching his transition that ultimately led to me figuring out my identity and coming out. So I have an awful lot to be grateful to him for. I also just really admire how he's still updating. Not as often now, because there's not an awful lot to update now, but even now he still updates, he still responds to people, he still, like, engages with the community, and I think that's really admirable and lovely, and he really, like, he just cares so much, which is really cool. So this guy. Another guy who I think is really a really fantastic asset to the community, although he's controversial at times, is Chase Ross, uppercase Chase. He was really helpful to me in terms of getting across that not every trans experience is the same, that trans people are different from one to the other. You don't have to figure out that you're trans when you're, like, 2 months old, and you don't have to want to transition in a specific way, and I think that's so important, so important, and I know it was important to me to see, a person being like, I'm gonna just stop tea for a while because I'm uncomfortable, and then I'm gonna start again later, and that's fine, I feel okay now, By the way, I wasn't just fondling my chest, I was just, like, massaging my pectoral. It's even weirder. It's a weirder thing to do. Anyway, so yeah, Chase Ross, super cool guy. I like him a lot, and I think he's really important and helpful to a lot of guys who don't fit that standard transly mold. So yeah, those are two, like, vlogger people that I found really helpful and important. Also, in kind of, I suppose, in practical terms, and also, in emotional terms, I also found that, Jamie's helped me out a lot. Good old Jamie, Mr. Sunday, is Sunday Jamie's day? Mr. Sunday, yeah. I found Jamie when looking for information about gender care, and he was really helpful to me in that, in, like, figuring out whether gender care was a feasible option for me and stuff, and, he's just generally been a very nice friend and stuff, so yeah. So that's kind of online, folks. The next person I want to mention as, like, an inspiring, cool person is somebody I know personally, and I don't think she necessarily would want me to name her, but she's a woman I know from university who my department, not my department as a whole, but who my course convener, who's this really lovely lady, directed me to this woman when I came out to her and told her that my name was changing and stuff. She was like, oh, there's another trans person who's, like, kind of used to be in the department and is now a PhD candidate, and like, why did I put you in touch with her, and you can figure out if there's anything you need to do in terms of the university and stuff, with name change and stuff. So she put me in touch with her for that, and this woman was just like super lovely, and went and met me and had a like chat with me about it, and was just really supportive and nice, and like, you know, there's like a really nice trans community here, and she like alerted me to other trans folks that I might, you know, want to hang out with and stuff, and she was just really like kind and supportive, and in general I just think she's a really cool person. She's like an activist, and she's doing a PhD, and she's just like really intelligent and cool and lefty, and yeah. So I really like her, and stuff. I find her really inspiring. So thank you, human, who I will not name. Another person who I think is really cool, who is a famous person, and this is the only famous person I think that I'm listing, and I don't think I can think of others who are trans who have really inspired me, and who I think are really cool, is Lana Wachowski, obviously newly out trans woman, who co-directed with her brother The Matrix and a bunch of other really cool things. So I'm just going to caveat here that I really wish she didn't have dreadlocks, because that's appropriative and not cool. But that unfortunate drawback aside, I think she's really funny and talented, and has handled her transition with such sort of almost nonchalance and like grace, and I just think she's really cool. And I also really admire that she has made the decision to be open to speak about her transition, despite the fact that her and her brother have a long-standing preference for privacy, that she's sort of overlooked that for the sake of being that, being potentially an inspiring figure for young trans people. I think that's a really, I mean, I don't think everyone has to make that decision, but I think it's a really wonderful decision that to make if you're able, and I really admire her for that. So I think she's really cool. And also, she, in her speech, I'll link to her speech when she got her human rights campaign, anyway, HRC award. I'll link to her speech for acceptance speech for that, because that's the thing that really got me onto like, wow, she's really friggin' cool. And while she was doing that, she just casually defined gender. I think she used this phrase to describe how she felt as a child, being separated, when the class being separated into two lines, and how she felt a strange, powerful gravity of association to the girls' line. And I was like, that's gender. That's just, you've just defined gender. I've been trying to figure out how I define gender for like years and years, and you've just done it. Nice job. Anyway, so I'll link to that video because it's really cool. So yeah, I just think she's really awesome, and I can't really think of another famous trans person that I really admire that has inspired or helped me. That's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, another person I want to mention, I feel like a real dork doing this, but this person has been genuinely very helpful and inspiring to me, so I'm just going to do it anyway. Dorkiness and like arse-licking be damned. The other person I want to mention is Alex, i.e. Saturday, right? i.e. Saturday Alex. Alex and I met when my beloved started university here at the same university as him in London, and we've been friends ever since, and he's been just like so helpful to me in terms of having a close guy friend again, and I hadn't had a close guy friend like in a while, I suppose. Oh no, that's not true, I had, but this is the thing, having a close guy friend who I could relate to on this level, who understands this strange experience that we share of being trans, is just like a really wonderful thing to have. And he's so like proud of his identity, and so like such a generally like lovely, cool guy. It's been, really important and helpful to me and to my transition having him around. So yeah, that was just the suck-uppiest thing, but it's the truth, so there you go, there it is. Okay, that's about it, I think. If I think of anybody else that I admire or that is inspired to help me, I will put it in the box. And and I hope you have a lovely week, and stay cool. Bye!